Welcome to Sairam Online Learning Center. In this video, we're going to discuss about Introduction to Digital Electronics. Here, this lecture will be an eye-opener for those who are new to digital electronics. And this lecture is exclusively made based upon the 2017 regulations of Anna University, be it ECE students, third semester course Digital Electronics ECA 392. So this is the agenda of the session. Syllabus. So under the syllabus, we will see the objective of the subject, syllabus, and the outcome of the subject. Next, we will discuss about the outline of the digital electronics. Then we will see each unit's outline along with the syllabus. So outline of all the 5 units. Then it will be followed by prerequisite knowledge and mapping with other subjects. So what are the basic things we have learned and we should know before learning this digital electronics, and after learning this digital electronics, how this digital electronics can be mapped with the other subjects that we are going to learn in the forthcoming semesters. Next, we'll see about mapping within the subject. So in digital electronics, we have 5 units. So how this units can be related? What is how you can relate the relationship between each of this unit? Application of the subject and topics. Then we will see the companies or locations related to this digital electronics, people and media related to this subject digital electronics. Then we will see day-to-day examples of this digital electronics, and it will be followed by reference books and other related materials. Finally, web resources. So syllabus of digital electronics. So first we'll see the objective of this digital electronics. So here we have 5 objectives. The first objective corresponds to Unit 1 to present the digital fundamentals, Boolean algebra and its applications in digital systems. Yes, the first unit deals with the basics of digital, that is number systems. And the second objective deals with to familiarize the design of various combinational digital circuits using logic gates. So second unit deals with combinational digital circuits. The combinational digital circuits means that the present output depends on the present input alone. That can be called as the combinational digital circuits. So this third objective corresponds to Unit 3 and Unit 4. So in Unit 3, we will discuss about the analysis and design procedures for synchronous sequential circuits. And in Unit 4, we will see the analysis and design procedure for asynchronous sequential circuit. So unit 3 and 4 we will see about sequential circuits, which means that the present output depends on the present input as well as the past output. Then coming on to the fourth and the fifth objective can be combined, and this will be dealt in Unit 5, which deals with the semiconductor memories, the various types of semiconductors memories and the related technologies like PLD, PAL, PLA, FPGA. And the second part of Unit 5, we will deal with electronic circuits involved in making of logic gates. So this is what the objective of the subject. So the syllabus of our digital electronics, Unit 1, we will see the digital fundamentals, starting basically from the number systems, ones complement, twos complement, various types of coding techniques, followed by Boolean theorems. Then we will discuss about logic gates, then sum of the product and product of sums term, followed by K-map and Quine-McCluskey method of minimization. Second unit, we'll discuss with combinational circuit design, circuit where it is a simple design of circuit in digital electronics where the present output depends only on the present input alone. Under this, we will see the design of adders, subtractors, multiplexers, demultiplexers, comparators, and various types of encoders. Unit 3 will discuss about synchronous sequential circuits, And unit 4 is asynchronous sequential circuit. So sequential circuit, as we discussed earlier, it is sequence, which means that present output depends upon the present input as well as the past output. So when there comes a concept of past output, we need to have the concept of storage in order to store that particular past output value. Hence, sequential circuits are basically utilizing the concept of storage. So then what is the difference between third and fourth unit? Is the third unit will deal with synchronous sequential circuit, which means that the common clock will be used for design of the entire system. Okay, so entire design we will have a single clock which will be operated at time t. Next, in the case of asynchronous sequential circuit, which means that it is asynchronous, which means that clock is not same. That is, the clock is not applied at the same time, which means that for the first block, you will be applying the clock, and the result of the first block will be given as a clock to the forthcoming blocks. Okay, could you able to imagine this? Here, a single clock will be given in the case of synchronous to all the blocks of the circuit, whereas here the first block will be given the clock. Later on, the output from the first stage will be given as the clock to the second stage. Likewise, you can have the entire sequence of progression of clock from the previous output. This is called as asynchronous sequential circuit. So unit 5, we will deal with memory devices and digital integrated circuits. So first part is we'll see about various types of memories, how they are formed, how they operate, and what are the different types of programmable logic devices that can be made. And in the second part, we will see about digital integrated circuits. So how various digital integrated circuits can be formed with different types of logic families. So how you can define the logic levels, propagation delay, power dissipation, fan in, fan out, noise margin for the case of various families like RTL family, TTL family, ECL and CMOS families. So coming on to the outcome, at the end of this digital electronics, the student should be able to use the digital electronics in the present contemporary world, and we will get an idea of how to design various combinational digital circuits using logic gates, and we need to do the analysis and design procedures for the synchronous and asynchronous sequential circuits, and how the semiconductor memories and related technologies can be utilized for the case of digital equipment development, and the use of electronic circuits involved in the design of logic gates. So this is the outcome of this course. So there are a lot of books available when we want to refer the digital electronics, and this is a textbook, and these are some of the reference book prescribed. Next, we shall move on to the outline of the subject. So, digital electronics. So, first, we want to know what is meant by digital. So, here, digital, the word comes from the words called digit, which means that giving information in the form of numbers. So, if you say decimal numbers, you can have from 0 to 9, and if it is binary, you will include 0 and 1. So, digital, we say that of this is an example of digital clock alarm setup, and here your data will be accurately shown in the form of the digits. So normally we, in our day-to-day life examples, we prefer the wristwatches, and we prefer the weighing machine in the form of digital, so that the measurements can be accurately seen at least up to 2 to 3 digits of accuracy. Coming on to what is electronics, we are already aware of this. It is a branch of science that deals with movement of electrons under the application of electric field. So this is what the digital, and this is what the electronics. So coming on to the syllabus of Unit 1. First unit deals with digital fundamentals. We are going to see various types of number systems. We are going to discuss about complements, various types of codes, Boolean theorems, gates, and finally we'll see about K-map and Queen-Maclesky method of minimization. Seeing the outline of Unit 1 in an elaborate sense, digital means numbers. So what are the various types of number systems we can have? We'll see that. Then when you want to represent a number, sure there will be two types of numbers, positive number as well as the negative number. So how to represent the positive as well as a negative number? Hence there comes a concept of complement. Usually complement will have two types, one's complement and two's complement. So this complement is mainly meant when we want to perform any arithmetic operations like addition or subtraction, the basic arithmetic operations, here the subtraction can be done in the form of addition. Hence complement plays an important role in that. Next to that we will discuss about various codes with the case of number systems. So codes are the symbolic representation of digital information. So what are the different types of codes, how you can represent each of the code. So what are the advantages and disadvantages, we'll see that. Next we'll discuss about Boolean theorems. So Boolean in the sense it was discovered by George Boolean, hence the name Boolean, and you can have here true or false, yes or no, then on or off condition, high or low condition, whatever may be that it comes under Boolean. So theorems, we know that theorem is nothing but a rule. So how you can define a rule is that it is an accepted truth by set of acceptable truth. Okay. So what for we want to learn this Boolean theorems? So this Boolean theorems are basically meant for simplification, which means that a very long equation with more number of variables and operations can be simplified into a smaller equation. Hence, we will reduce the number of variables, we can reduce the number of operations performed in it. As a result of that, power, heat, complexity and cost will decrease. Then we will discuss about logic gates. We are already aware of this. So logic gates performs logical operations in one or more input and produces the corresponding output. So the basic functions of logic gates include AND, OR as well as NOT. AND in the sense it means multiplication, OR in the sense it means addition, NOT corresponds to complement. So discussing of the logic gates, there is a topic called universal gates. So how you can define this universal gate? So any function can be represented only with a particular gate alone, then that gate can be called as a universal gate. Example of some universal gates are NAND and NOR, which means that any of the given function can be expressed or can be designed only with the help of the NAND gate. Then NAND gate is called as the universal gate. Likewise, any of the function can be represented by means of using only NOR gates. It can be called as the universal gate. Then in this unit 1, we will discuss about sum of products and product of sums. So rethink this term, sum of products, which means that we have product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4, and in between them we have the summation operation. Okay. Now come on to product of sums. Think it of product of sums, which means that we will have sum term 1, sum term 2, sum term 3, dash dash to sum term n. In between them, we will have the product operation or multiplication operation. So representing Boolean function in terms of two forms, whatever may be the form, we want to apply the Boolean theorem and we want to go for simplification. And in sum of product term, each of the term, individual term can be called as a min term, and in product of sum POS, each individual term can be called as a max term. Then at the end of this unit 1, we will describe K-map minimization and Queen-Maclesky method of minimization. So apart from using Boolean theorems, we can also use K-map and Queen-McCluskey method to minimize a particular Boolean function. So basically these two broader ways to minimize, and each will have different ways, each will have their own procedures, and each will have their limitations. This is what we are going to discuss in Unit 1. So coming on to Unit 2, we are going to discuss about combinational circuit design. As said earlier, present output depends only on the present input alone. It is called combinational. Here we will discuss about adders, subtractors, multiplexer, demultiplexer, comparator, encoders, and decoders. So combinational circuit design, combination, and here we'll discuss about adders and subtractors. So in this we'll have half adder, full adder. So when you want to add 2-bit numbers, it can be called half adder. When you want to add 3-bit numbers, it can be called as a full adder. Then you have binary parallel adder for doing addition parallelly. Then when you want to do the addition in a very fast manner, we can go for carry look ahead adder. Then you will have binary coded decimal additions. Then at the same we'll have the operations for subtractions. And after that we will discuss about the multiplexer. So what is this multiplexer means? It is normally many to one. So it is a device that selects one of the several analog or digital input signals and forwards the selected input into the single line. So you'll have multiple inputs at various lines. Whichever input you want to have, you will give the select signal. Accordingly, that particular input will be available in the output. That is called multiplexer. Demultiplexer, it is an reverse of multiplexer. Here you will have a single input and here you will have multiple output switches. Next to this, we will see the magnitude comparator. So it is a device that takes two numbers in the input binary form and determines whether which one is less than or greater than or equal to. Hence, you will get the resultant as whether A is less than B, A is greater than B, or A is equal to B. Then next to comparator, we will discuss about encoder, which means it converts the signal into a set of codes. Corresponding reverse operation can be called as a decoder, and it is converts the codes into the respective signals. So at the end of unit 2, we'll see about priority encoder. As the name implies, it have the priority for a particular type of digits. So priority encoder is a circuit or algorithm that compresses multiple binary into a smaller number of outputs. So output of the priority encoder is a binary representation of the original number starting from 0 of the most significant input bit. We'll see whether D0 bit is high, whether D1 bit is high, whether D2 bit is high, or whether D3 bit is high. Accordingly, we will set the priority. Whichever have the high priority, they will be given the importance. These are the things we are going to discuss in Unit 2. Unit 3, we discuss about synchronous sequential circuit. So under this Unit 3, we will see three major classifications. First one is flip-flop, second one is counters, and third one is registers. So various types of flip-flops, counters, and registers will be dealt. So synchronous sequential circuit. So name implies sequential. The present output depends upon the present input as well as the previous output. Hence, you can have the concept of storage. Okay. So here, the third unit, which means it comes under synchronous sequential, which means transition in the sequential circuit depends on the clock or it is controlled by a clock. So single clock will control the entire operation. So an analogy for the synchronous can be given as if you are in the case of school or college, we have the particular timings. 9 o'clock will have the prayer session, 9:15 will have the class of first period, then 10 o'clock second period, then 11 o'clock break time. Okay, so a particular clock will be given, that is bell, school bell or college bell corresponds to the synchronized clock. So the particular time that operation will happen. In case if we are in home, there is nothing to be synchronized. Whatever time you want to learn which subjects, you can learn. And if you don't want to learn, you can have your break, or you can watch TV or do some other activities. It's not synchronous. Okay. So in the synchronous sequential circuits, you will see the latch. So latch is one bit information that can be clocked or latched. And we will discuss about flip-flops. It is latch plus additional one control input. It is called enable or clock input. Then we will discuss about registers. It is a group of flip-flop to store the binary information. There is no sequence in this. So just a group of flip-flop to store the binary information. Next, we'll finally discuss about the counters. So counters are normally to count the sequence of input pulses presented to it in digital form. So how many number of clock pulses are coming? So that number of clock pulses will be counted. That is a function of counter. So this is a representation of flip-flop. This is a counter. You can count the sequence of input pulses that is coming, and this is example of group of flip-flops to store the particular information. So on this unit 3, we will have two parts in the case of analysis as well as a design. So when coming on to analysis part, which means that we will be given a circuit, will be given a particular design, and you will be asked to find how this circuit will operate. How you can you know the truth table? Can you give the truth table of the subject? Can you give the working procedure of the circuit? That is called as the analysis part. Coming on to design part, you will be given a problem, and for example, you will be asked to design a counter that counts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and once again come back to 0. So they will give a problem and make you to design a circuit. That is called as a design. Analysis is they will give the particular circuit itself, and you will be asked to find how this will function, how this will operate. That is called as the analysis part. So these are the things we are going to see in unit 3. Coming on to unit 4 is asynchronous sequential circuits. So we already know about the sequential circuits. So sequential circuit is that the present output depends upon the present input as well as the past output. Asynchronous means, as I said earlier, you can have different clock, that is, not have a common clock here. So sequential circuits are those in which previous and current input variables, by storing their information and placing them back into the circuit on the next clock cycles. Okay. So asynchronous sequential circuits do not use the clock signal as synchronous. Instead, when you give the clock to the first block, later on the output of the first block will be given as a clock to the second block, and so on. If this is a condition, it is something more difficult to design, and this asynchronous sequential circuit will subject to problems like sensitivity to the relative arrival times of input at the gates. Sure, here you can have the problems with respect to sensitivity. Hence, you can have the cycles, races. So if transitions on two inputs arrive at most at the same time, the circuit can go into the wrong state depending upon the slight differences in the propagation delays of the gate, and that can be called as the race conditions. So here you can have will have many issues like cycles, races, hazards. So how you want to design a circuit without the cycles, races, and hazard plus circuits. So this is what you are going to see, asynchronous sequential circuits. So races, cycles, and essential hazards, these are the analogies given. So you want to use the stable and unstable states, output specifications, cycles and races, state reductions, hazards, essential hazards, and how you can design the hazard-free circuit. So Unit 5 will deal with memory devices and digital integrated circuits. The first part you will see the how you can have the basic memory structure. ROM, PROM, various types of memories, Then we will discuss about different programmable logic devices. In the second part, we will see the digital integrated circuits and logic levels, propagation delay, power dissipation, fan in, fan out, various characteristics with respect to the logic families. So discussing of Unit 5, memory and other digital integrated circuits. Memory depends upon the present, output depends upon the past input, means you can have the concept of memory. So here you can have the types classifications like ROM, read-only memory, programmable read-only memory, erasable programmable read-only memory, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, electronically alterable programmable read-only memory, random access memory. Here ROM is non-volatile. It is difficult to modify even when the power is on. Then if suddenly gets off and once again turned on, the data will still remain. That is called as a non-volatile memory. Programmable read-only memory is one-time programmable. You can use fuse and anti-fuse here. Erasable programmable read-only memory, it retains the data even when it is off. Electrically erasable means it allows individual bytes to be erased and reprogrammable. Random access memory stores the data or the code currently being used. That is the function of random access memory. And hence digital system needs storage either temporary or permanently, and PLD or the electronic component used to build reconfigurable digital circuits, programmable logic devices. Under that we will discuss PLA. So it is a kind of PLD to implement combinational logic circuits and programmable and you can have conditionally complemented block also. PAL stands for Programmable Array Logic. It is a kind of programmable logic devices. It is one-time programmable. FPGA, Field Programmable Gate Array. It is semiconductor devices placed around the matrix of configurable logic block, and it is connected via the interconnects. So these are the things you're going to see in the first part. The second part will include digital integrated circuits, and you will see the logic families like resistor transistor logic, emitter couple logic, and complementary metal oxide semiconductor logic. For all these logic families, we will define the various characteristics like logic levels, propagation delay, power dissipation, fan in, fan out, noise margin, etc. So this is what we are going to discuss in Unit 5. So prerequisite knowledge and mapping with other subjects. So before learning this digital electronics, where we have seen this concepts related to the digital. So in plus 1, plus 2 physics, we have learned about the logic gates, so which is the very basic of this digital electronics. And in engineering practices laboratory second, some we have worked with some verification of functionality of logic gates. And the electron devices subjects, we have seen the individual components of this digital electronics and IC chip manufacturing. So these are the things what we have known previously before this digital electronics. And after this course of digital electronics, forthcoming years we will see, learn electronic circuits 1, that will see the circuit connections and combinations. In VLSI we will define the logic gates function and how the very large circuits can be obtained by using the basic knowledge of digital electronics. And memory, random access memory, ROM, fabrication of VLSI. And in electronic system design we will learn this advanced topics from this digital electronics. And digital IC, let's say LIC, we'll see how you can have the IC manufacturing. So this is how we can map with the other subjects. Mapping within the subject, we'll see that this digital fundamentals is unit 1. Unit 2 is combinational circuit design. Unit 3 and unit 4 is synchronous sequential and asynchronous sequential. As the name implies, once you have the sequential, you want to have memory. Hence, I have mapped to unit 5 memory devices. And by starting from all these, when you know all those concepts, generally you can go for digital IC design. So first starting from the basics, then a simple circuit designs using combinational, then sequential. In that synchronous is somewhat the primary part of sequential circuit. Then advanced part you can have asynchronous sequential circuit design. Finally you can map into memory as well as digital integrated circuits. This is how each of the unit of our digital electronics can be related. So application of the subject and topics. So this digital electronics is used in digital weighing machine, digital clocks, counters, digital displays of phones, keypad displays, calculators, digital image concept, digital India, biomedicines and smartphones. So application of the subject and topics, Digital India is power to empower. So Digital India program is a flagship program of the government of India with a vision to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. So whatever may be the project we do under this Digital India concept, we want to have the basic knowledge of this digital electronics. So application of the subjects and topics, you can have the digital weighing machine, calculators, digital camera, as well as the digital alarm clock. So companies or location related to this subject. So there are top semiconductors companies where this knowledge of digital electronics seems to be the very base one. So Intel California, Samsung Taiwan, Qualcomm, Broadcom, SK Hynix, Micron Technologies, Texas Instruments, and Toshiba. So these are some of the top semiconductor companies. So still there are a lot of companies, startup companies, which want to have the very strong basic knowledge in the case of our digital electronics in order to shine in the particular field. People and media related to these subjects. Cover up some of the book authors and inventors. So book authors, this is Sullivan and Sir Arivalagan Sir, Maurice Mino Sir, Bignell, Godse, Bakshi. These are the book authors related to a subject. So when you want to know this digital electronics, you want to have the basic knowledge of some of the inventors who are behind this flourishing of this digital electronics. So IC it is invented by Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce. Field programmable gate array invented by Ross Freeman. Random access memory by Robert Dennard. Place value notation by Aryabhatta. Symbol of zero by Brahmagupta. And Boolean algebra by George Boole. So in media, how you can relate this the usage of digital electronics? You would have watched this film Sendiran and Tick Tick Tick. So in this film, whatever may be the data that has been transmitted will be finally converted, or it will be finally coming in the form of only zeros as well as the ones. So that is the concept behind this. And in this space shuttle movie also, whatever may be the data we are transmitting, and the final stage it will be coming in the form of we use microcontrollers here, and it will be transmitted in the form of zeros and ones. When it is transmitted only with the case of ones and zeros, we feel that sometimes it is more it is less susceptible to noise. And here, since we have used only two amplitude levels, it is something advantageous than more than using the analog signals. Okay. So day-to-day examples of digital electronics. So few of you would be aware of this show which was telecasted in Vijay TV, and the questions will be 16 or something, 16 or 17 questions will be asked, and we want to give the answers in terms of yes or no, which means that in our digital it is nothing but on or off. So the name of this show will be like யாரு மனசுல யாரு and உங்க மனசுல யாருங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். So இதில் வந்து we want to think of a person or a popular personality in this, and that popular personality, about that popular personality, you want to collect all the data, and you will be questioned by this anchor, and for that questions you want to give the answers in terms of yes or no. Okay. Sometimes it can be yes, no, or maybe. Okay. So at the end of the session, he will be pointing out correctly who is the popular person, or who is that familiar known person. Okay. So here we will have 1 and 0. You can have on or off condition. Sometimes when you have 1, 0 and x, you can either correspond this x maybe to the case of don't care in the case of digital electronics. So when we see each of the topics under our video, we will be clear about what is this X or what is this don't care condition. So reference book and other related materials. So this is a textbook prescribed for us, and these are some of the reference materials prescribed for us, and a few web resources. There are a lot of web resources available for the case of digital electronics. Here I have shown some top 4 web resources for your reference. So thank you. Thanks for watching this video. So in further videos, we'll discuss about the topics related to this digital electronics, and we'll start from the first unit and we'll discuss each of the topics. Thank you.